Come on. Yep. And touch nothing else on that computer until we are done. We are going to be here until at least, what is it? At least 11 p.m. So we're going to be here for at least 3 hours. Now, we'll figure out how to play. I just need to see if there is a video option. Nope. Audio. Sound effects can stay high. We'll bring down the music a bit. No defaults. Credits help, so know how to play. Bonus content, switch profiles. Okay. New game. Let's get this started. See what the two brothers are about. Okay, so right now I can't do anything with the toggles. Let's see. It's actually moving a bit smoother, at least it appears to be, so we should be in a good spot. If it's not choppy, we're going to do Wolfenstein again tomorrow and continue the story, but tonight I'm going to re-record. Oh, do they speak English? I'm going to record the first 3 hours, so this way everybody can follow the story along. Oh. Oh, it's already going to start off dark. This ain't good. I guess you can't swim? I'm not trying to bring him down. I'm just, dang. Ooh, I'll stick with you. Oh crap. Hi, Mom. I don't know that language. What is that? It's not Scandinavian, it's not Polish. I'm gonna have to look this up. It sounds familiar, but I don't know. It's not Scandinavian, not Polish. But given the background, I mean, I know this is probably a fake world, but given the background, this is obviously a northern, perhaps Gaelic type of area. Definitely have to look that up. So, it looks like we're about to get our first puzzle. Aha! So Big Brother's left trigger, little brother's R trigger, holding the triggers to interact. Let's see. Oh, gotcha. So that's the trick. Okay, so uh-oh. Oh, crap. Oh, this is going to be interesting to get used to. Oh, and it's reversed. This is going to be weird. Hopefully I'll get used to it fast. Oh! Ah! So I was right. So you gotta hold both triggers to interact. Oh crap. Each brother. But the joysticks too also. The left one covers the older brother. The right one covers the little brother. Doing them both at the same time gives you more speed. But. Okay. It's kind of throwing me off. It seemed like the directions were reversed, but now they're working okay. It's almost like a... It's almost as if it's affected by the camera angle, which is... gonna be terrible. So, at this point, we stop. Little brother? Nope. Okay, yep. So, little brother. I'm pressing all the buttons. Oh. Okay, so once I got to it, I had to choose the little brother to pull it. Okay. Oh, no, wait a minute. Sorry, Pops. We'll be right back. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, working on it. I'm sorry. Hold it. There we go. Okay. So we'll know. This is going to be interesting. So, big brother, grab the thing. Little brother, grab the thing. Get that weird steering thing going on. Stop. Big brother. Do the thing. There we go. Right, grab it. You grab. Oh, stop it. Grab the thing. Grab the thing. There we go. No. I'm really trying to figure this out. It's... So the little brother's steering while the big brother's pushing. Now... Doesn't seem to be another thing unless... Oh! Huh. Oh! Gotcha. Little brother. Okay, so... I may not have to do much with the... A, X, B, and Y don't seem to really do anything. Come on. You can move. So just pressing their button gives them a... Oh boy, get up, get back up. So pressing their action button makes them react to things. So I'm definitely going to have to pay attention to what I'm doing, brother. Little brother. Oh, jeez. So what I'm doing is I have to rotate my joysticks as well to... Oh, that is fascinating. This could cause a lot of issues if most of the game is like this. I mean, it's not boring, but holy crap, can that... Stop that. Grab. What it is. So I'm guessing that's Pa. He's badly injured, if not sick, so we had to figure out what to do with him. The jacked up thing is there's no subtitles either, so we just have to figure out what they're possibly saying. Which obviously it looks like the doctor saying he can't do nothing and the kids are a bit miffed about it. While Dad is hacking up along. And you're about to send me on a quest to look for the Tree of Life? That would definitely make him Gaelic, I assume. Usually don't like to assume, I'm usually wrong. Well, thank you kindly, sir. Okay then. So resume, restart checkpoint, help options, main menu, nope. So other than the two joysticks and the triggers, nothing else does anything. This is going to be fascinating. So am I just supposed to guess where I'm supposed to go? Oh my god. It's like two chunks of my brain are messing with each other now. Human! What's up? Club him. Fine. We should pull a Billy Goat's gruff. So you can swim. Are you about to teach him? Well, you're gonna interact with a brother. I'm gonna hold on to Big Brother. Gotcha. Cool. So I'm completely guessing because those rocks in the way made me. Oop, twigs. Quick, get up, kid. Get up. You'll be alright. Just fine, fine. Climbing a climb. Sorry, trying to figure out which way to go. You're just a dick. Okay, I guess we're gonna do the springboard thing again. Oh no. Cool. Oh. So I had to let go and tap again for them to jump. And I saw that in the right hand corner. I'm gonna have to really get used to this. Can you jump? Aha! Scaling? And drop. Hold LB and RB to rotate camera. Oh, thank you. So not at the same time, just in general. Gotcha. So I guess you, old man. Okay then, never mind. Let's go. No jumping. Oh. This? Yep, whoops. Hop. Hop. Oops. Okay, it looks like it's going easy. Oh, crap.
Hey, Rai!
I'm working on it. Looks like it's going easy, so upping the speed for the CPU seems to have really seems to have really worked. Slide. Slide. How do you even know what we're doing, you jerk? Climb it. Sick 'em spot. Ha! Enjoy. Uh-oh. Okay. Just gonna move one at a time. I guess not that true. So, since it doesn't seem like there's going to be heavy dialogue on this, I suppose I'd like to tell you guys about one of the stories that I'm writing. Last time I did this, last year actually, for, what was it? For Extra Life. People actually seemed to really like what I was saying about my story, so, there's one I'm actually rewriting. It was, in a sense, a children's story, but it was a request. Uh-oh. It was a request from an old friend of mine. She wanted me to write a story for her and her daughter. Her only response was, let it be about a turtle and a unicorn Enough said. That's literally all she said. And wake up! Yeah, little snot. Yeah, no, you loved it. So you gonna get up or what? Oh. Oh, okay. Well, thank Kylie. So, the story I wrote was a pretty generic story. I just tried to give it a little more. I'm not doing that. Try to give a little more emotion to it. So, first, let's see what happens. Okay. So, we have our two characters the turtle or tortoise, how you want to give it. The tortoise I actually named, I kind of mixed up names, and the turtle's name was a form of Nathaniel, but um, he was sort of like a dreadful character. Not dreadful on purpose towards people. He was just dreadful himself because he had a lot of things going on in his life. So called him Nathaniel. Where the unicorn, in a sense, I mean, obviously was going to be female, but not necessarily the love interest. She was just going to be a female that appeared. But given the situation, she was, in a sense, linked to death since she was the last of her kind. Not the last unicorn, mind you, just in her sense. Because in this universe, she wasn't your normal unicorn. Not the goat leg with the woven horn that looked like two horns woven into one. No golden fur, nothing like that as a foe or whatnot. But this, imagine a centaur, but still completely equine, but she just happened to be centaur-like. You know, she had the horse bottom and the humanoid top, but still the rest was still horse. But a single horn, transparent with magic flowing through it. No wings, no Pegasus or nothing. But anyway, but because of her link to death, and again, just sort of made up a name. I literally dubbed her Death Desralison, which can't even tell you where I came up with that name. But for sake of story, we will address the turtle as Nate, and we will address the unicorn as Desi. So, to still getting used to these controllers. So, do we actually interact with the people, or nope? Just continue with the going. So, with left is older, right is younger. The story starts with Nate. It actually, well, not as bad as how Brothers here just started with the issue with his mother, but it started kind of sad. With Nate, he was a small baby turtle, no more than 20 years old. But if you know how turtles age, that he might as well be 2. His mother and sister, who always took care of him, always watched over him, they're all being attacked by this wolf clan. And not your standard type of wolf. These are insane, the type of wolves you hear, Peter cried wolf, Little Red Riding Hood. These are, 3 little pigs. These are the conniving wolves who want nothing more than to bring carnage and mayhem. And with that, we don't know why, are those godlights? We don't know why, we just know that for whatever reason, these wolves really want something from Nate's family. And although they themselves don't really know why, they put him into hiding. They hide him underneath. They have an opening in there. In fact, imagine houses like these, because this is a world where, nothing is advanced like it is today in our world. It's more very low tech like it is here. So what they do, both grab? Sweet. Oh, push. So they open a hole in the floorboard and they hide Nate in there. And when the wolves literally burst in, I mean, there is no rhyme or reason, there is no subtlety. They just literally blow the doors open. Not so much with a huff and a puff, but the leading wolf has this massive horn, and he uses that because it magnifies his breath tenfold. Blows the door through, and 6 wolves enter in. And the mother and the sister are just sort of, they're staying timid. They're not the fighting type, but they just stay timid. They let the wolves come in, ask, "What do you want? What are you doing here? Why are you bothering us?" And without actually saying anything, they grab his sister. Obviously, it's not going to be for anything malicious, such as, okay, nothing completely malicious as a sexual act, as we hope, but nevertheless, they start taunting the mother by, like rubbing their fingers along the female turtle's face, and they're not actually saying anything, because actually kind of similar to this. In the beginning, there's not much dialogue. I'm mostly just writing emotions and actions, so you can literally see and feel what's going on. The entire time, Nate is under the floorboards looking at these wolves. As far as he sees, they're just taking advantage of his mother and sister. He can't fully see what's going on other than what he's seeing through the cracks. But at one point, just checking. Okay. At one point, his mother has had enough. And without thinking, she just grabs one of the chairs, and the one that is touching her daughter cracks him across the face with it. Breaks his muzzle, blood just gushing out everywhere. Forgive me, my nose is itching. Muzzle is completely gushing blood, and of course, this doesn't bode too well with that one particular wolf. The other wolves are laughing their butts off because they think it's funny. First off, they think it's pretty cool that turtle, usually timid creatures, oh, okay, so she's actually a bit of a firecracker. She isn't going to just sit here and just deal with this. And the sad thing is, we never find out why they were even there. It's like they were really just there just to mess with them. They didn't steal anything. They didn't take anything. But because of the mother's actions, the wolves chose to make an action. And just like that, the wolf whose muzzle the mother had broke, he walks over to the mother, acting all nonchalant, just like, nice hit, good on you, good on you. And just like that, rips her beak off. I mean, just, there's no warning, there's no hint, just the next thing you know, half of his mother's face is gone. And all he can hear is the muffled, oh. Uh-oh. Okay. So all he can hear is the muffled screams. Uh-oh. Climb, climb, climb! No crap. Climb, boy, climb. So all he can hear is the muffled screams of his the muffled cries, forgive me, of his mother, because her whole beak is now gone, and you hear the shrill, heart-wrenching cries of his sister, because what just happened, she can't believe this. She's about to go to her mother's aid, only to be literally cracked in the back of the head, and she hits the ground. She doesn't know what hit her, and she's completely out. Now things are actually going to get worse, because while she's on the ground, the wolves, they just watch, and they're laughing their butts off. They think this is hilarious, so they just start pounding on her shell. All poor Nate can see is the floorboards constantly bouncing back and forth as they're stomping on her shell, until he hears a gut-wrenching crack. And he realizes that they've cracked his sister's shell, and they didn't stop there. They heard the crack, but even after that, they kept on going, and they didn't stop. As far as Nate lost all track of time, he has no idea how long they were going at it. He just knows that when they finally left, he was completely drenched, because his sister alone was right over the area where he was, and his mother wasn't too far away. And when he finally got to move the floorboard, needless to say, at 2 years old for a turtle, this destroyed him. I mean, his mother and sister weren't just killed, they were brutalized. I know this is supposed to be a kid's story, but she said just write whatever comes to my mind, and I have no idea where this came from, but this is what I wrote. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. So maybe I can. Okay. In the meantime. Oh, this is gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. Oh, what'd I do? Go ahead. Oh. Woo! Okay, that was a fun puzzle. So, as I was saying, with Nate, when he got out of that hole, he looked at his sister. We never know what his sister and mother's name is because sadly they were there just for his backstory. Now, and that's when he sees the rest of what they had done. Not only did they rip off his mother's beak, they had caved in her head, broke both of her legs and her arms, but they left her shell alone, sort of as a mockery of what they had done to his sister, which was the exact opposite. Yes, they hit her in the back of the head, but they didn't do that much damage compared to what they did to her shell. There was literally nothing left of her back. It was completely smashed in. And when he couldn't look at his mother because there was nothing really there left. But when he looked into the blank eyes of his sister, needless to say, this completely destroyed him. He lost all feeling, all emotion, and he didn't know where to go from there. I mean, granted, he was only 2, but there was the only turtle family there. It wasn't like anybody else was going to take him in. So he literally, I mean, he didn't do anything symbolic like set the house on fire, or he didn't even bother burying his family. He just clicked off. And after that, he walked outside the house, and he never looked back. I might eventually write some type of side story about what happened to him later, but at this point, it's not really focusing on his past. This is just enough for us to understand why he is the way he is during the story. So what we end up doing is we jump a solid 80 years. So granted, at 20, he might be at the sense of a 2-year-old, which granted, I'm just making that up because a turtle can reach to 100, supposedly. A turtle can reach to about 100 years old and still be young. So, shoot, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles could be, 600 for all we know. But, well, maybe not really, but anyway. So, in this case, we jump 80 years, and more or less, he is, for story's sake, he is more around his 20s. I mean, he's past his teen years, all that stuff. He pretty much just learned how to live off the land. He learned how to just take care of himself and survive. And this wasn't uh-oh. There we go. Sorry, mixing up the controllers again. This wasn't necessarily a bad thing for the most part. Just take care of himself. He just grew. I mean, he grew to be strong. He grew to be independent. But at the same time, he grew to be completely independent. He never needed anybody. He never asked for help. He never worried about anybody but himself. And because of that, he grew up to be a very cold-hearted being. And so here we are 80 years later, and where it starts off as kind of like a nice subtle scene. He's sitting at a lake, nice vast lake. Kind of have your, see if I can do this. Okay. Kind of have your Huck Finn look where he's just sitting there at the edge with a fishing rod. Uh-oh. Okay. Gotta make sure they don't fall. There we go. So, again, with the Huck Finn appearance, he has a fishing rod. He's just sitting there, just letting time go by, because for a turtle, time pretty much is meaningless. And after a while, sorry, my nose will not stop bugging me. Ugh. After a while, he is sitting there and he hears this music, or at least somebody singing, and it's very beautiful. Now, granted, he's been emotionless for the last 80 years because of what happened to his family, but at the same time, he's not completely dead. So he hears this beautiful singing voice, wondering, what is that? Who? There we go. How am I? There we go. That is... Trying to do this with, like, two sides of the brains is very funny. Please excuse me, but I gotta find a tissue, a napkin, or something. My brain is killing me. I know I had some napkins here earlier. Okay, I'm just gonna have to muscle through it. But, so back to the story. Here's this beautiful music, and what am I hearing? Not a bird. So he hears this beautiful music, but he kind of pays it no mind at the same time. He's just sitting there like, Like, you ever have that moment you're just walking down the street, you know you hear something, but you're not going to pay too much attention to it? Basically what Nate is doing, and, oh, rabbits. I want a pet rabbit. So, after a while, he's sitting there, and without even turning back, he knows there's somebody behind him. He doesn't feel threatened, so he doesn't bother, but he's still slightly on the alert, just in case. And out of nowhere, he just hears behind him a beautiful voice. Just saying, how can somebody so young have eyes so old? He doesn't bother responding, he just sort of glances behind him, and all he sees is the pure white, I guess we could say fur. The pure white fur. And he just shrugs. No big deal. He's completely indifferent about her. And so she tries to sit. Now remember, Desi is, yes, she's a unicorn, but she's a centurion unicorn. So imagine a centaur with, yes, she has the top human half, but it doesn't look like a human. It's still a unicorn. It's just... one day I might actually draw all this stuff out and post this on my YouTube page, because I'm thinking this might actually get some people's interest. But anyway, so he looks, and even though he's a turtle, he can still admire beauty. And you think about a unicorn, something you've never seen before, obviously. So are you gonna let it go? How about you? There we go. Of course it's the little brother. Be good if you turned around, but anyway. So he can see that she's a beautiful unicorn. Although he has heard of the unicorns and he is aware of them, he's never actually seen one. Especially one that looks like her, because in this universe there are regular unicorns, the golden fur as a foe, the interlocking horns and all that. But to see this being, this is, what the heck am I looking at? I mean, she's beautiful, but what? So, there we go. So finally, he still has the fishing rod. Oh, crap. Okay. I see what's going on. Okay, that's gonna be annoying. So am I supposed to grab one of y'all? Just petting? Okay. So he sees her, and now he asks, okay. Oh, crap. So I need to find a way to get over there. So he looks at her and he asks, okay, exactly what are you? I mean, I can see that you're a unicorn. You have the appearance, the eyes. I mean, your legs are still, what is that? Those aren't goat-like legs, as I've heard unicorns to be. No, her, what the heck? What are you doing? Are we supposed to help you? Oh! What happened? Oh, you little rugrat! Whoops. Nope. Okay, so I guess the little kid is supposed to run, and you go grab a sheep. So, as I was saying, he looks at Desi. No names exchanged yet, but he says, when he looks at her feet, he says, what exactly am I looking at? I heard that unicorns had goat-like feet, but her feet, her legs are a little bit scaled. And that's when he notices her tail. It's not flared like most horses or unicorns' tails are. Her tail looks like 3 whips, finished off with like peacock plumes. So he says, "Are those phoenix feathers?" And that's when it hits him. Okay, you're a unicorn, but you're not completely unicorn. You're Keelan, aren't you? And needless to say, there we go. Needless to say, this completely impresses her, because not only does she believe she's the last of her kind, she hasn't even heard any being ever even speak of the partial races that she is. Because obviously, her form of a race isn't a common thing. So for him to see that, of course, his mind jumps to it. Again, I might write a story about his backstory to explain how he knows this stuff. I think that might be more interesting. But anyway, so we get to the point that she sits next to him. Again, she's intrigued by him because although he's, what is he? He started off in 20, 80 years have passed, so he is officially 100 years old now. But for a turtle that's basically young, but she can see that he has been through some stuff. And again, she asked. He just goes silent. He pays no attention. He stops caring right away. He's just like, okay, you're asking the same thing. You're spinning the story. Whatever. Just go away. She starts to sit there and think, okay, maybe I overstepped. I shouldn't have. But she doesn't leave. She actually continues bantering, talking about his fishing. She sees the scars she sees the cracks in his shell and the scars on his body. And she wants to know, okay, what has happened to you to cause such a thing? See what's going on. Is that all you just needed? Oh! Oh! Am I supposed to put one of these sheep in the thing? Is that what's going on? Do you think? Ha! Gotcha. There you go. Good sheepy. So, we let time go by. There's, in a sense, trying to get to know one another. But Nate is basically sick of her crap. He doesn't know why she keeps following him. He doesn't even know why she cares. And she should just be on her way. He's made it abundantly clear he's not going to say much. He's made it clear he doesn't care what she's about. It's just, be gone, how's the meme go? Be gone, thought, leave me alone. But she still stays by his side, trying to figure out what it is that has hurt him so. And, right, camera angles. There we go. So, oh crap, I can't turn it that way. That is terrible. So, sorry about that. So, we allow time to pass, not a year or so, but as far as we can tell, a few weeks have at least passed because we now see Nate standing. Oh crap. I'm guessing there's no actual fighting in this game, so I'm probably in trouble. Okay. Oh. Poor guy. Hi. You're big. Huh?
Hey, Maru.
Hiyo. Still doesn't look choppy. That's good.
Maru, when hadi?
Interested?
Sa?
Want to give us a lift?
Atta.
Oh. Do we follow you? So, oh, that's not nice of you. Hiya! Sure.
Hey!
Thank you. Nice. Scary, terrifying. Oh crap, you're coming with us. Okay. Oh. Ooh, look at the scenery. That's pretty.
Hey, Maya.
Hello, little boy. Where'd he go? Hey, buddy. Thank you. See you on the flip side. So, where was I? We find out that some time has passed because Nate is in his home. Okay, so no going back. He's in his home. As far as we know, it's his home. And we see that Desi is actually there. I mean, it looks like she looks like she made herself comfortable. How the heck did you get over here? You gonna chuck us? Yes. Give a good toss. Uh-oh. Ah, I see what you're doing. Oh! Well, isn't that nice? Cool. Okay. So, we see that some time has passed because not only is Desi actually at Nate's place, and we assume it's his place, we actually see that she has a bed apparently or something that looks comfortable for her to sleep in. Oh! Poor little Rugrat. Hang on a second. So, they start talking. We see that Nate is there, just looks like he's boiling up something, maybe cabbage and whatnot. Just a nice little meal for. Go on. Uh-oh. Are you supposed to climb him? Oh, okay, there we go. How's that gonna work? Gonna climb the mushrooms. Okay then. I guess so. So, they're talking a bit, and it looks like she's at least warmed his heart a little bit. And not only that, they seem to have developed a good friendship. So we know that some weeks have passed, and she's broken through his cold exterior. But of course, you know, most stories, good things aren't always meant to last. Oh, okay. You're gonna chuck us again? Not all good things are meant to last, so. Huh! Huh! I guess. Nope. Woo! Look at him go. Okay, sorry. Try to get to the point, but I keep losing track saying this stuff. So, they're living together, and looks like things are getting better, but not all good things are meant to last. At least not in this story. So, as time progresses, Nate finally starts asking her questions. Aside from the obvious as to find out that she's part Keelan, part Phoenix, and part Unicorn, nobody knows what a centaur is in this universe. It's just obviously whatever mythical beings you're mixed with led to the strange mutation. And it's not an ugly mutation, it's just obviously something I've never seen before. So now the question is, what are you doing around here? Are you running from something, or has something been bothering you? Dang! That would hurt. The thing that's funny is they didn't do anything to really earn his friendship, but cool, what the heck? Oh, the swimming thing again. Hold on. So finally starts asking, what is your deal? Like, why did you even come my way? And we learned that she really had no reason to come his way. She was just walking aimlessly. As far as she knew, she was the last of her kind. No sob story, just sadly the last of her kind. This way. Why, thank you. And as she was walking, she had this feeling that led her to him. And, you know, he thinks that's a load of rubbish and all. He thinks she's just messing with him. But the more she talks, the more he listens and realizes that she's serious. She truly believes that something brought her his way. At this point, he's just shrugging it off. Yeah, sure, whatever, but we'll see. More time passes, and we see that these two have developed quite a strong friendship. They're there for each other. They're going to help each other out. And oh, okay. They're gonna help each other out and be there for one another, and this is good. I mean, again, we know good things won't last long, but the fact that they're lasting a while is enough, and it's pleasant. Now we jump a couple of years, and we start to see. Sadly, Nate isn't so much, but we notice that Desi is actually becoming quite fond of. Okay, folks, please excuse me. I have got to. I will be back in like 2 minutes. My nose is killing me, and I can't stop. I can't keep rubbing it through the whole video. Forgive me. Oh, good lord. Okay, less than 5 minutes, yay. Sorry about that, folks. So. Love green tea. Before I continue this game, let me just finish the story and get it out the way. So we have actually passed a couple of years, and we see that Desi is actually becoming quite fond of Nate. He's helped her out in many different ways we never would have expected. He's grown in ways we never would have expected, and now he's well aware that it's because of her being in his life, because seeing his mother and sister brutally murdered completely killed whatever good he thought he had in himself. But having this magnificent being with him, not just meeting him, but staying with him, being with him, has definitely altered his perspective and outlook on life. And it's definitely helped him become a better being himself. He's always there for her. He's always helping her out. She never actually asked for anything, but it's kind of one of those situations where she's trying to do something and he notices, so he goes and gives her a hand. She never has to ask. He never asked for a thank you. It's just a perfect combination of life. And things continue to be good. But so here we are about a couple years later, and we see that they're quite close. He sees her as a dear friend, someone he would never hurt, somebody he can never live without. And she feels exactly the same way. But because of what's coming next, he finally starts to realize how rare she is. Now, at this point, I've actually written two versions. One version is, now this is after I gave my friend this story. She got the unedited version. But thanks to my good friend Carissa Star McGill Dougherty, she brought it to my attention that this is supposed to be a kid's story. I should make it more G-rated. Or at least light PG. So what I did was, I wrote two versions. The secondary version is a kid version where they are attacked by not so much a dastardly group, but they are attacked by these crocodilian type creatures and a band of hyenas that are with them. The reason they've come to attack them is because they've been searching for Desi for years. They've known about her race. There's a reason why she's the last, because she's not aware of it, but the majority of her race has been sadly hunted down. I mean, she wasn't aware of this. One day she was born, and kind of like how sea turtles leave their nest and all that, with her race, as rare as it is, they do the same thing because we need to fend for ourselves. And they realizing that she's the last, they believe that by capturing her and light PG, ridding her of her life essence, that's actually going to extend their lives. Not necessarily immortality, but definitely longevity. So for them, you can say the average lifespan is 100 years like a human. You get longevity, you get an additional 900 years or so attached to that. Sounds fair, right? We'll get to it. So they come, they attack, and Nate is doing everything he can. It's more like a Home Alone style. For the PG version, it's more of a Home Alone style. He's got pots and pans and hitting them with chairs and doing tricks with the furniture in order to get them away from Desi, and he tells Desi to run. She runs, and of course, some of the crocodilian creatures are trying to go after her, but nope. Nate's already got plans. Never knew he'd need them, but he does it and defends her. Sadly, though, they get tired of him and they drain his life force, at least as far as they think they can. Of course, we're sitting there wondering, how were you even able to drain life force? Of course, we later see that he had, the leader, Crocodilian, has a stone that when he places it on a creature, he absorbs their life. And he knows how to filter it out to the rest of his crew. Nate has a little bit left behind, enough to get the house to crumble onto itself. Not destroy, not kill, but it's enough that he is able to get out there, grab Desi, and they escape. We see the Crocodilian and the hyenas come out later, but they're like, maybe someday we'll catch her. You know, your dastardly mustache trolley guy. And they leave. And we see that Nate is sitting next to Desi, but his life is fleeting because so much of it has been drained. And she holds him as he closes his eyes and falls asleep. Now, for this point, I'm going to go now back to the original, because at this point, the ending is more or less the same as the original. Brace yourself, because I held nothing back. Yes, this was for a children's story, but given the person who asked for it, I knew that she and her daughter would actually prefer this ending. So, the original ending goes... Sorry, I'm remembering exactly what I did, and I don't know what made me think of this direction. It was not pleasant. So, instead of a crocodilian and hyenas, we finally see that we hear howling in the distance. Okay, it's wolves. Now, granted, Nate has a bit of a PTSD with wolves for obviously a good reason. But nevertheless, there's no way it could be the same wolves. This was 80 years ago. They have to be dead, right? He's not wrong, but, you know, kids. And that's exactly who these beings are. And the only reason he knows this is because when he looks out his window and sees them, they're wearing a sash, which I do admit I did not mention in the beginning, which is actually in the story. They're wearing a sash that is of the same clan of the wolves that killed his mother and sister. The second he sees those sashes, he is losing his mind. He starts shaking. He's sweating. He actually contorts into his shell, something he never does, because he doesn't care about anything until now. Not only does he care about Dez, but Dez reawakened him. He cares about his life. He cares about what happens. And when he sees them, knowing what they represent, his whole life just started to fall apart again, because not only did he think about what they could do to him, the main thing going through his mind is, what could they do to the only person I care about? There is no question what needs to be done. He does not do the same thing his parents did by hiding Desi under the floorboard. Not that that would work, but what he does is he tells Desi to hide. Just find a place to hide. Get out of this house and run. She's asking, what's going to happen to you? What are you going to do? Just go. I will find you. They don't even make it into the house. He goes to the side, he grabs a scythe, and he grabs a dagger. Not so much a dagger, but it looks like it's more like a broken off harpoon, because he is a fisherman. But he grabs it, goes out. He says nothing. He just looks him dead in the eye. Now, of course, these are the kids of the wolves that killed his parents, so they don't know the link. They don't know who Nate is. As far as they're concerned, he's just a random turtle. Like, well, isn't this weird? Well, we're actually looking for something, and they're not there to take her life force as the kid version is. They are flat out there to slaughter her and ingest her blood, because same difference though. By ingesting the blood, this will give them longevity, in their sense, close enough to immortality. And they're probably not aware that she's the last, but they just figure, hey, we get this, we get an extra some 100 years added to our life. Sounds nice, more pillaging, plundering, living technically forever, so we can do this. They did not know what they were in for. Now we're not going to have some random Ninja Turtle moment where Nate is going to prove that he is quite the badass. I mean, we see that he's a badass, but not like Ninja Turtle sense. He sends out one of his minions to go after him. Just says, will you please just destroy this thing just so we can go get the unicorn? Yeah, the second this wolf comes by him without even realizing it, scythe right across the neck. Doesn't decapitate him, but he pretty much makes a Pez dispenser out of him. And this causes the others to take it back, because they didn't expect this. He sends two more. Nate does not waste time. He throws the scythe to one right in the forehead, takes the broken harpoon, and gets one right under the chin. Now, if you see movies where they get people under the chin, it's not pretty. Instant fatality. Now we have about 4 more wolves that are left. At this point, this leader wolf, we don't know his name because we really don't care, just says, alright, enough of this. Will y'all please kill him? A whole big battle ensues. Now, nothing epic, but still, it's him against these strong wolves. Now, granted, he's got a little bit of an ego going on because he just took out 2 of them without even trying. And he's saying, okay, let's do this. My fault, not 2, 3. Let's do this. Yeah, it didn't go as well as you'd expect after how he just handled those first 3. He did take out the harpoon and just used it pretty much like a dagger. He cut one not before one punched him so hard that he actually thought his beak was going to come off. But it didn't. It was just, you ever get punched in the jaw so hard that it feels like your lower jaw is just going to fall off? Basically like that. He then when that same wolf is coming at him, he pretty much uses that same wolf's momentum to slam him into a rock face first. Doesn't kill the wolf, but he's definitely staying there for a while because now his muzzle's broken, blood gushing, sound familiar. And this triggers something in Nate. Seeing his muzzle like that, he just started reliving that past, and it made him go crazy. He grabbed the wolf by the back of the hair, by the scruff of his neck, and just continued to bash his head into that rock. That's another one down. 3 more to go. The other 2 are coming at him. They slam into him to the point that his shell hits the same rock, cracking it so hard that a large chunk even comes out. Again, trigger more stuff. He just sort of loses it. Takes that last wolf, and not the last wolf, forgive me. He takes the one wolf that's on his left and just starts strangling him, while the one on his right, he literally just starts punching him, put in the face. His fists aren't really doing anything because he's still not much of a fighter, but it's doing enough to keep that one wolf away. The one wolf that he's strangling, again, he's not that strong. That's the problem. Yeah, he can brawl a little, but he has no strength. Thinking he has no other options, his beak feels fine, he goes right for that wolf's throat. Kind of like a reverse, hey, this is how you usually kill people? My turn. Takes that wolf down literally by taking out his jugular. This other wolf that's coming at him actually runs away, because when you see someone who's crazy enough to bite you in the neck, and you're supposed to be the one to do that, they were done. Now he has this last one. This last one, who is their leader, obviously big and burly. Now, granted, he doesn't know who Nate is, but he remembers a story his father once told him. And with that, this wolf just starts laughing. So he reminded me of something my father once told me. And with that, he literally reiterates everything that happened to his mother and sister. What makes it worse, he starts telling Nate what they did later when they left. Because there's a reason why you didn't see much of his mother left, because it wasn't that they got crushed in, they cut those pieces off and took them with them. As far as his sister's concerned, they didn't just crush her shell in. Again, they took everything inside and left with it. That's why he didn't see anything. He just thought that back then he was just too mortified to really look. There really was nothing left because they stole it. Telling this part of the story, Nate couldn't handle it. He just started screaming, ran at this wolf, but this wolf does know how to fight. And with a swift fist under the jaw, it knocked Nate down. I mean, at this point he hit the rock, but he hit it so hard that it pretty much dislodged his shell, which in normal sense should kill a turtle. I mean, once their shell is gone, that's it. This fight literally lasts for a while, and it's pretty much one-sided. This wolf is wailing on Nate. He doesn't stand a chance. But you know what? He's not just fighting for himself. He's fighting for somebody he cares about more than anything else. And as this wolf is laughing at him, he figures I might as well go for it. With that, he takes the broken piece of the harpoon, plunges it into the wolf's foot. Howling in pain, he kicks the wolf in the gut, who falls down. Without even thinking, without even a second thought, Nate actually turns around, grabs his shell, at least the chunk that he has left, rips it off his own back, slams it onto the wolf's throat, and decapitates him. Granted, Very gory. I don't know where I thought of all that, but that's just what came to mind. And of course, with this wolf now dead, and the other one long gone, the last one is not coming back. He's slowly crawling back to the house because I mean his shell is completely destroyed and gone, and there's pretty much nothing holding him together. And he's slowly walking to Desi, and she comes out. She's howling in tears, crying because this being that she cares greatly for is literally dying, and now dying in her arms. And he looks at her and he tells her, I know what I did was very stupid, but if it was to keep you alive, there was no question. I have no regrets. Now at this point, the two stories come together, the G version and this version, where she is now sad. We jump a few months and we see her standing by the lake where they first met, and you notice that the house isn't too far away, so you get what happened. In the distance, you see what looks like a makeshift grave with stones on top. You realize, okay, that's where Nate's body is. And we'll continue the game now. Sorry. Just really wanted to get the most of it finished. So, as she is standing there, just sort of looking into space, she's not really thinking of anything. She's distraught. I mean, without actually saying it, she did love him. And now, of course, she has no idea if he loved her. She'd like to think he did. How would this work? Oh, no. Oh, okay, that's fine. That's cool. So, we let a little more time go past, and we see that she's still standing there. I mean, it's clear that she goes back to the house, but she comes back to the lake every day, probably pondering on what she could have done to help, because what's bothering her isn't the fact... I mean, it bothers her that he died. That goes without question. But what really bothers her is the fact that he died saving her life. And as far as she feels, she did nothing. She could do nothing to help him. And that does more to her psyche than anything else. But, just as how sometimes all good things can't always last, same goes for the bad. One day we see her, she's sitting by the lake, sad, but not crying, but just sort of lamenting on her loss, wondering how his spirit's doing, how things are. And with that, kind of like a throwback, she hears somebody coming. And she hears this interesting song, something she's never heard before. It's quite fascinating. And she's wondering, what is that? Because at this point, she's not dead inside as Nate was, but she's definitely colder. And just as Nate did, she kind of glances behind her and she sees another unicorn. One exactly like her, Centurion, Keelan legs, phoenix tail, a solid horn with magic flowing through it. What in the world am I looking at? This can't be right. I mean, as far as I know, I'm the last of my kind. Who are you? What are you? And this creature is looking at her, kind of chuckling, saying, why should somebody so young have eyes that look so old? And as if her heart stopped dead in its tracks, she took a solid look at this being, and she needed but to only look into his eyes for a short period, realizing that they weren't just any eyes. They were the same eyes that she fell in love with. And she realized it has to be him, but she can't really understand how in the world does this work, because something doesn't add up. Well, Nate explains to her once he died what happened. Not so much the follow the white light or anything, but he found himself in darkness, but he knew he wasn't alone. He just couldn't see anything, but he heard voices. And most of the voices had that same, I guess you could say, tinder that her voice had. Like a sense that there was magic in it and a beauty. And what they explained to him was that the wolves had it wrong. By drinking the blood of these beasts, it doesn't give them longevity. In fact, it actually cursed them to have an even shorter life. So here you are, say you're 90 years old, you're about to die soon, and you drink the blood of these type of unicorns. Yeah, that little bit of time you have is pretty much dropped down to a day. and then you're dead by the next day. Sorry for you. That said, to actually sacrifice oneself for such a creature, that's how you obtain the longevity, or close enough to the immortality. And by listening to the story, she can't help but to start bursting out crying, thinking, oh my god. Because you were just you were gifted to be turned into me. That wasn't the original plan. It was just, if he had lived, then he would have just had the longevity. Of course, for a Toro, that wouldn't have mattered. But because he died, the beings that he heard on the other side, which obviously were more of her kind, felt it justified to give him a gift. Or in a sense, give the last of their kind a gift. So they altered his form. And now not only was she able to tell him that she loved him right off the bat, it took him a moment, but he reciprocated and told her that he loved her too. And that's pretty much where our story ends, with these two embracing in each other's arms. And even though Nate himself had a life of hardship and sadness, and even Desi herself, especially near the end, these two found each other and were able to live their practical eternal lives together forever. So that's pretty much what came to my mind. I mean, like I said, my friend asked all she said was, just let it have a unicorn and a turtle and go. And that's pretty much the story that came to my mind. If you enjoy the story, let me know. I mean, maybe I can see what I can do about drawing a small thing to illustrate it. I mean, that might be entertaining, you think? So, we're still doing the live Twitch stream, but it has been over an hour, so I'm actually going to pause the thing right now so I can start the next episode. This is what I do for when they come onto YouTube and Facebook and all that. This way you won't actually have to sit through a 3, 4, 6 hour thing. So give me a moment.